Welcome, everyone, to the Your Energy First podcast. I'm your host, Emily Marie, and it is such a pleasure to have you here to talk about all things your energy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Emily, and today's recording is a little bit different. So I actually host something I call the Inner Light Circle. It's a community where people can receive group energy healing work once a month. We talk about all things energy and share best practices and share tips and share books we like and things we've learned. And I really enjoy holding space for that group. And people ask questions. And one of the questions someone asked is, what do our spirit guides think of weed? And what I do is I hold space for these responses, for these answers from spirit. When I say spirit, I mean the energy that's all encompassing to support us that comes from source. What's interesting to me about this recording is that not only do our guides answer the question, but you can actually hear me explaining to you how I'm going back and forth with them a little bit. And I think that's an important thing for all of us to understand, is that we do not have to take whatever it is our spirit guides and spirit teams say at face value. Now, of course, they are very wise and developed and have your best interests at heart. So most of what they say, we're absolutely going to agree with them, think it's very wise. And then at the same time, you and I have free will. And it is sometimes the challenges we have on earth are viewed so differently from the other side. And while you and I are doing work on this earth plane to get to that place where we feel more love and we feel more in the divine flow of love at all times. I mean, who's close to that? Call me. And at the same time, sometimes need to give our spirit guides feedback. Hey, that's great advice. However, I need something a little bit more. I need more input. I need something that's going to be a little bit more realistic. So you can do that with your own spirit team. You can ask them for more information. You can ask them for a different solution. Say, okay, that's one option. Is there another option for my highest good? See what they say. So we are going to get to it. And if the Inner Light Circle is something that interests you, you can find it on my website at emilymarie.com. It is month to month. It is only $33. So it's a good way to kind of dip your toe into a community. I am very particular about how I hold space for community because I call it the circle, since everybody's energy is equal. It doesn't matter what our experience levels are, and everybody's there to learn and to grow and to have some fun doing it. So feel free to join us there, and into the podcast we go. Hi, everyone. So I have been getting a couple of questions about smoking weed and the like when it comes to, I'm going to talk about, let me see, I'm asking Spirit where we want to go here. We're going to talk just more about like marijuana and cannabis in general. I'm laughing because I never in a million years thought I'd be making a video on this, but it makes perfect sense. So I get this question a lot about how is it for our energy when we smoke weed? How is it? I'm just going to use the example of smoking weed. That could mean a vape pen. That could mean edibles. That could mean a lot of things. Ingesting, Mary Jane. Do they even call it that anymore? Ingesting marijuana. So what does Spirit think about this? And they're kind of chuckling a little bit. But the first thing that they're bringing up is remembering that this plant actually has a spirit to it. It has a purpose to it. They're using this example right now. If you go get a Diet Coke from a fast food place, does that have the same purpose behind it? Does it have the same spirit behind it? Obviously, we know it doesn't, even though it tastes delicious. And the reason that they bring that up is because they say we have been conditioned to approach the two the same way. They say, ironically, one's better for you than the other. So what we want to do when we approach plant medicine in general is, number one, oh my gosh, I'm kind of giving Spirit a little bit of pushback right now, because what they're wanting us to look at is, okay, what is this doing for me right now, and how is this serving me? And I'm like, I get it. But also, when you just need to kind of transition at the end of the day, or at that time where you just want to relax and you're just like, give me something to relax, just want to ingest this thing. And they're so sweet. They're like, okay, we get it. Remember, with spirit, it's a two-way street, right? And with our spirit guides and spirit team. So oftentimes we think everything that comes through from them is the word, and it is what it is. And instead, remember that spirit's here to help us. All energy is equal. Spirit guides especially are taking orders essentially from our higher self, right? So we really want to kind of look at our conversations with spirit and spirit guides on more of an equal playing field. And that's just a little side note there. Of course, with so much gratitude for what it is that they're doing for us, right? Because I can feel it in my heart right now. They truly do love us so much. We really are like dry on love in the US. I'm sure in other parts of the world too. Oh my gosh, how many tangents can I go on here? Okay, ingesting Mary Jane, ingesting marijuana. So they're bringing it to like what it boils down to. And they say what it boils down to is, how is it present in your life? How is it a part of your life? They say, so if you look at your week and say you're someone who wakes up and decides, you know what, I need to smoke a bowl, or I need to have an edible in order to calm down every single night. Oh my gosh, now they're bringing up the medicinal purposes of all of this. We're going to look at this two ways. We're going to look at it socially, and then we're going to look at it medicinally. We're going to start with socially. So on the social front, they say, they're just like, do what feels good for you. They say, you know when it's too much, when it's a crutch. And now they're bringing it over to the medicinal side a little bit. And they say, and sometimes we do need crutches, and crutches are really important. By the way, spirit's not anti-medicine. They're not anti-literal medicine, that we get at the hospital or from doctors, or this kind of medicine. Spirit is far more lax than we give it credit for. I think for a lot of us, there's still a lot of like maybe old school, strict religious feelings that we give towards our spirit guides and spirit team and stuff, and they don't feel that way. So when it comes to, let's say socially, you're doing this recreationally, they say, they go, where does it fit into your life like anything else? They say when you, they're saying play sports. I'm like, okay. When you play sports, when you do movement, when you work out, those kinds of things, you do those things to get a result, right? You do those things because you know it's good for you. You choose good food because you know it's good for you. You choose to not drink at times because you know that's better for you. And then other times we imbibe too far. We're human. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're not being judged by them at all. They say it just whittles down to, how is it serving you? So is it acting too much? Something can be a crutch for you, but it could be a crutch like this much. And then something could be a crutch for you this much, right? Just like look at alcohol. Okay. Can you have 2 drinks, or does it always have to go to like 4 or 5 or 6? Do you drink so that you can sleep at night, or do you drink because you're on vacation at the pool, right? Either way. So the same goes for when we look at something like weed is, and this is again recreationally, how are you using it? And they say it is okay to have, they're pulling me back from this. They say we always just, again, if it makes you feel supported, if it makes you feel like it's helpful in a transition, it's fine. It's totally fine. If it is something that you enjoy to do, it's fine. They say it's all about how you feel. If you feel like it's becoming too much, they go, we naturally become obsessed with a lot of things. They go, we've become obsessed in relationships. We've become obsessed with another person. We become obsessed with our dog. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the same. Maybe it is. I don't know. So just some things to keep in mind. It's all about balance, like anything else in life. And they say, oh, this is interesting. They're saying the other thing that we do is we're a very all or nothing group. So it's more like, is weed bad for me? Is weed good for me? Yeah, they say we're very all or nothing. And they say just go slow. They say if you can, acknowledge the plant, what it's going to do for you, how it's going to support you, which leads us into the medicinal aspect. And now they're saying we underestimate. It's funny because what they're showing me is they go, you look at the breakdown of a flower or a plant or an herb, and to you and I, we kind of look at this tiny little element of that herb, let's say, and we think, what could this possibly do for me? What could this little amount of nothing possibly do for me? Whereas when we take pills that were made in a lab, we take them consistently often. There's amounts we're told to take by the doctor. So then we look at this tiny little herb and we're like, how could this have an effect on me? I'm actually learning as they're sharing this. I've never thought about it like this, and it makes so much sense. So they're saying if you think about the fact that the herb comes from the earth, and from the ethers, and you come from the earth and you come from the ethers. Now I'm asking them, I'm like, but don't labs come from the ethers? And they're like, yes, but not the earth. Okay, there we go. So now I'm getting really tactical, and I'm like, well, everything in the lab has to come from the earth somehow. And they're just like, that's not the point. So smaller amounts of these herbs also carry a vibration. And it's the medicine that's in these plants, as well as the vibration it carries and your intention with it. So, which is interesting because I actually will like bless and clear my food and thank it, but I don't do that with the supplements I take, with the herbs I take. Now I'm going to do that. Duh. I thank them for working with me. I thank food for supporting my body. That's what I was talking about. So now I'm going to do that with the herbal supplements I take too. That makes so much sense. Interesting. I learn new things every single day in this process, every single day without fail. I don't think there has been a day. Yeah, there just hasn't been a day I don't learn something new. So welcome to the party. So medicinally, they say our growth is so not linear. We need support. We need to lean into different elements of support. And they say we also want to pay attention for when the time comes and goes that our need for support changes. So that means if you're someone who is relying on like medical marijuana, you may need it for a number of years or a number of months or a number of weeks. You determine for you what feels true, what feels good. The last thing that they're just throwing out there as we close this out is we all need more nature. They're even looking directly at me right now. We all need more nature. We need more light in our lives. We need more of the earth's ions. They say wear less when you go out in nature if you can. I'm like, what about the people that are up in the snow? Actually, you know what they just said for that? They said, stick out your tongue. Stick out your tongue towards the sky, even if it's dark out or it's snowing. So there you go. All right. Words of wisdom. Thank you so much to our lovely helpers on the other side that came through for all those glorious messages. What messages came through for you on this? What feels true for you right now? How does this resonate? What questions does it bring up? And I hope you get exactly what you need today and more. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. Please do like, share, rate us, leave a review, and you can always email me, connect@emilymarie.com. It's me on the other end of that. Let me know what you thought, what other questions came up. Did you get any insights or inspirations that you want to share? I would love to hear from you. Have an amazing rest of your day.